Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today on this episode of the Good Side podcast. Please join us every week as we talk about current events, relationship issues, and just about anything that concerns our life. We aim to highlight the positivity in the world, the goodness of God, and of course, the goodness in people. So whether it's a story, a person, or a situation, there's always some good to be found. Hi, Mama.
Hello. Hello.
I can't talk today. I think it's the weather.
It's the weather. It's
Yeah.
beautiful outside. What happened?
I know. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's also very humid to me. And I don't know. It reminds me of my home country. So where,
Okay.
like, if you don't really, fix up your hair, you'll end up with frizzy hair.
The bush?
The bush. Yeah.
But what about if you're
So
born?
that's what I felt.
Oh, gosh.
That's what I felt today. I don't know. For some reason, it's just like, why is it like, like icky?
The crazy thing is you had an extra day off and you're still feeling icky. There's no reasoning there.
Oh, it's
I
bad.
mean, we just celebrated Labor Day. Okay, you weren't having a baby, you weren't in labor. So, I mean, maybe you were delivering something. I don't know. But
I don't know.
today is beautiful. I mean,
It is,
If
yeah.
anybody should have their hair poking all out, it would be me. I don't,
Right?
and I'm fine. I mean, I don't get it. Your hair is straight, and you're talking about bush. Okay, well,
I don't know.
We'll
I
let
just,
that one.
It's just, I don't know. I just felt like I think, you know what, also, don't you think, like, when you come off of, like, either a vacation or a long holiday, when you come back to work, it's like you're so behind. Do you feel that?
No.
No? Only me?
I don't know. Maybe not just you. You know what it is? And we've been talking about that.
Uh-huh.
It's the process of planning.
Okay.
Like, I know what I'm going to wear every day this week. We already know I'm going to wear a ponytail, so
Oh.
that's easy. Or it might be a knot. But I know what earrings.
Okay.
I know what. It's the process on the good side of everything. You want to plan. So if you set your plan, and I mean, you have a husband and you have a son, so yours will vary. But no, I don't feel any of that.
Any of that? Just me.
No.
I guess it's just me.
No, it's not just you. It's other people too, I'm sure.
Yes,
Like I
I'm
said,
sure, yeah.
I'm just a little anal retentive, so.
Yeah.
And I'm not robotic. That's the one thing. You know that. I'll change in a minute, if need be. But one of the things we were talking about is, we have the tendency to get so busy.
Yes.
Busy this, busy that, just busy, 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 busy. And we talked about that on the last time that we were together. That even with praying, we give a busy prayer and we want a busy answer from God, and God's
Yes.
like, I'm not on your time,
no.
you're on mine.
Right.
So
Exactly.
we were talking, you and I were talking about it, and maybe everybody out there might kind of want to grab hold to this, is that, there's a plate. Well, let's just say this. There's a measure that God gives each one of us, just like a ruler from 1 to 12. And the crazy thing is we're trying so hard to go 12 and a half. Okay, almost at 1, not all the way at 1. But in everything in the Bible, when it says God gives us a measure, if you go past that 12, I mean, I'd rather stay on the on the inside of it, not all the way
Just
through.
at 11
Because
and a
then
quarter.
it's a sin, right? Because then you've sinned. But if that's what the Bible says, when you're stretching yourself past yourself or your plate, there's a plate that each one of us should be working off of. And if you think about it, even if you eat your food and you put too much, like people that pile food on plates,
Yes.
you know me. I
Yeah.
really would prefer to eat everything on a separate plate.
Yes.
As I don't like my food touching. And maybe that's my problem. That's why I'm like this.
Yeah.
I don't really let that stuff affect me. What?
I'm not gonna go there with it.
Yeah.
No, because
What?
I would just stay in focus on the topic. No, I'm talking about because you said you don't like your food touching,
No.
right?
No.
So I remember growing up with my grandma, because grow up in the Philippines, like everything's precious. Like everything has value, including water, right? So if so during dinner time, because we all of us, all the grandkids live with the grandparents, so there's a lot of us. It's like 10 of us.
Oh, wow.
And so oftentimes my grandma would ration the food, right? So each plate will have, you know, if it's chicken for the days, we'll have chicken, rice, and veggies, right? So if you are a type of kid that be like, you don't like your food touching, well, my grandma will say, well, too bad.
Right.
Because your food is going to touch. You're not going to get an extra plate so we can wash an extra plate in the sink. And you're just going to have to just deal with it, you know? So I just grew up that way. So everything's conserve. And so that's how I'm raising Jacob too. So right now, well, you know.
You are. Okay, everybody. He's getting ready to have a birthday party. And I want to let you know there's no concern.
There's no concern. No, but he's going to be 7. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
I survived 7 years of motherhood. I'm so proud.
Wait a minute. He survived 7 years of motherhood.
Right? Yeah, so.
Because there's no roadmap to tell you how to be a mother.
I know.
You know, and if you had another baby, that whatever you learned with that first baby, guess what? Doesn't always work with the second one. While they're little infants, yeah, but then they get their own personality and so no. But bottom line being, yes, you got 7 years. That's
7
crazy.
years. Can you believe it? 7 years.
Crazy. Yeah.
But
no, let me say something else to kind of interject something. When I didn't like my food touching, so they didn't give us extra plates. I do extra plates now because I'm allowed to. I'm grown. And even then, I don't put it in separate plates. I have like a bowl with this thing and that thing, you know. Or if I do, if you notice, I'll take that fork and that knife and I'll separate it. I'll separate.
On your own.
I don't want no juices.
Man, you're making me hungry.
And my mom used to say, "You're crazy." You know, because again, my mother used to cook. She made all of our clothes, and that's in my culture too. I mean, all of our cultures are so close without even really recognizing it. That even with the food, yes, my mother, there was 5 of us, and just my mom, my dad and mom weren't together. So again, she had to do certain things to make sure all of us ate, you know, had enough to eat. But and my youngest sister had this thing. We rationed, yes. We didn't really ration, but she gave us what she wanted us to have. And my youngest sister had this thing. She would always say, "Any more?" Before you even set her plate down. Like before my mother set her plate down. So I remember one day my mom said, "I'm going to fix you because you don't even wait for the plate to be on the table before you say any more." But she maybe she was always hungry. I don't know. I always gave her mine. But the funny part was, so my mother, we had watermelon one day. Watermelon, black people, and chicken. Hello. So we had watermelon and chicken. And my sister, before she set it down, she goes, "Oh, any more?" My mother took a half a watermelon, made her eat the whole thing.
Oh, man. I bet he never asked after that.
Well, she hasn't eaten watermelon since. She refuses to eat any kind of melon.
Oh, wow.
But again, getting back to our original, it's just the whole thing of, yes, we don't have to ration now, but then there's also a place for everything. You know what I mean? Even though I it sounded like I said, well, I did say it. I do have separate plates now, in all honesty. Like I don't have my bread on my regular plate at all, but if I eat bread. But no, I don't like the juices to slide over. You stay in your spot. So, but I just think that's because, you know, I remember like my grandmother, she would make food and she would just, my dad's mom, oh boy, she would just like plop and everything was there. Well, it looked like throw up to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
I'd rather not eat. That's how we should be with God too. Stop plopping stuff before him and expecting him to say, well, it's in the Bible even. You didn't bring me your best fruit, baby. I don't have a good response for that. That's cute. So again, taking things off of our plate and not overbooking ourselves, not overdoing everything.
I think also a part of that is, remember this morning I told you, I want to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
Because I'm
and then another topic, and then another topic.
I started this new devotional on my Bible app.
Right.
And if anyone of you guys are looking into what's a good devotional, this one is good. So for women, it's by this by this author. It's called Manifest Her Daily, Her Daily. And so I started this. It's a 10-day devotional, and it's for being fully committed. That's the title of it. So the first thing I see is about this. She talked about this this influencer, and this influencer is a Christian. She said she is called a self-proclaimed Christian. I'm not really sure what that means, but it's self-proclaimed Christian, right? She has like 1 million followers. And so she made this one comment on her Instagram about that God is not in control of your life. You are. That was the comment. That was her comment on Instagram, right? So this author was saying like, okay, so her saying that all over the influence followers, right? Followers that she has. Now, it really points out to that part where she said this called the hustle culture. So nowadays, a lot of people are into the hustle culture. And she explained it to be like hustle culture is about everything pointing to yourself. Everything, it's like you got like to be successful, you got to be doing more. You got to be doing more. You can't be just sitting back. You can't be idle. You can't be this. But a lot of people don't understand is that when you get into the hustle culture it's good because you're productive, right? But you're being productive as a human, but you're really taking it away from what is supposed to be for God. This is what she was explaining, which I totally can relate because, so, like with me, especially when I first got called, I was so zealous and I was so like, yeah, I want to serve here, I want to serve there, I want to, I want to do all of these things. I want to do all these good works. But then God has a funny way of telling me, because then I will read something in the Bible and it'll say like, and he'll say, be still. He'll tell me be still. But I'm like, but, like I have a commitment. Like I'm gonna serve food at the shelter, like that. Although they're good works, God is saying, yeah, good works, but that's not what I want.
Yeah.
So it's saying like, it's good that you're doing good works.
That's why they speak of being a busybody in the Bible.
Oh.
Being a busybody, we have somebody we know. We're not going to say any names.
Oh, okay.
Bing, 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 bing.
I remember.
They're everywhere. And what happens is, in the bounce and the flip off of every wall, or running to feed when that God wanted you to be still, because that might be a time he wants to just talk to you.
Yeah.
But he can't talk to you because you bing, bing, binging.
Yes.
You're all over the place. So also the one thing you just said, she said, what did you say? The part she said about ourselves, something about
like you're in control of your life.
But you're really not. Like we are in a certain amount of control of our life, as long as there is, like you said, you get up and you pray first. If you're going to give the day to the Lord and everything that you have on your plate, everything you have on your plate, and then say, which ones do you want me to deal with today? Okay, yes, you faith without works is dead. So consequently, that's what a lot of us get it wrong.
Yeah.
We think that because faith without works means you're not doing anything, or faith with works is supposed to be the thing that you don't compromise, basically. But the thing is, what we don't understand is, think about it. When do you hear the most revelating word, or you just hear something that makes your day or makes the next week? When you're quiet, because God's not going to scream.
Right.
That's one thing I always even did not like as a kid. If you screamed at me, I ain't gonna lie, I shut down. I just can't. I won't do it.
Yeah.
Because if you scream, everything within me starts to, it's nervous. Well, God, it says in the Word even, God speaks in a soft voice. Now, if He's being soft and you're screaming at Him, if I were Him,
right,
I'd shut up.
Yep.
And what does He do?
And wait.
And then then we have one person that I know that's always like, but ma, but ma, but ma. But ma, and
why
I'm like,
won't you tell me now?
Right, tell me, ma,
Right,
ma.
yeah.
And when that happens, well, you've seen it. Even when you want me to tell you something, I'm trying to tell you, and my words get tangled in my mouth, and I'm like, can't do it, boo. You got to let it go. But, and I'm like my mom there. I just kind of look at you like,
yeah,
I can't, because then I'm going to get in trouble. I love you, but I don't want to get in trouble, God,
Right.
for you. I like, even as a kid, you didn't want to get in trouble for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Whole thing being is that there's got to be quiet moments. Like this week, you said
Mm-hmm.
yesterday you did nothing, and you didn't feel like you were
Productive.
you didn't feel like you were productive,
Mm-hmm.
but you were more productive in your home just being present
Mm-hmm.
without all outside forces,
Mm-hmm.
not bringing anybody else into the house. You know, that's when you're productive.
Yeah. And you know, the one thing I gotta tell you that Jacob teaches me all the time is that being the stillness, because you know, like when I get a day off, like I really don't want to leave the house. I don't want to get in the car because that's all I do all week long is I get in the car, I drive. So when I'm home, I'm like, I'm just so like, I look at the time and like, how much can I do at home
Right.
in this like time, right? So Jacob will be there, and you know, Jacob's an only child, right? And then so he'll try to entertain himself, he'll play and whatever, and then oftentimes he'll say, "Mom, will you come play with me?"
Oh,
So of course the first few years I'll be like, yeah, you know, like I always do that. But then like now as he's getting older, we're getting used to each other, and then so I sometimes I catch myself, I'm not saying yes anymore, and I'll say okay later, you know, like do this. But then like over this weekend, actually it was yesterday, he was like, I was getting ready to, because I wanted to organize my pantry. So I was getting ready to take all of the canned goods, and I wanted to see which is something expired. You know, I was just getting ready to do that. And then he goes, Ma. And I'm like, what? He goes, will you just come sit with me? And I'm like, what? Why? What for? And he goes, I just want you to sit with me. And I was like, you know, and it kind of like, you know, it tugged me like really heavily. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I will sit with you. So then I sit on the couch, and he's on his iPad, you know, he's just looking at videos. And then I sit next to him, and what he does is he leaned back on me and had me put my arm around him. And now I can't go anywhere, you know, because he's leaning. And so we just sat there for a good like maybe almost an hour, and then you know, my husband comes down and he goes, what are you guys doing? I don't know, he said sit with him, so I just sit here. He goes, what, weren't you supposed to do the pantry? I'm like, yes, I know, but he said sit down, so I sit down. And then so he goes, okay, well, just sit there, don't do anything. And I'm like, you think it's okay, because I
Oh,
really want to
gosh.
get that done. And he goes, yes, it's okay. He looks at me and he goes, yes, it's okay. So
There's
then
got to be a balance.
yeah, so then that's when I'm like, okay.
Okay, think
Yeah.
about this. Let's think about this. When your son did that,
Uh-huh.
it's the part where we were just talking about where you say, Mama, Mama, Ma. Okay, that's this. Okay, just looking at, I love how God says out of the mouth of babes. You know, the kids can teach us so much.
Yes.
And, you know, with school being back in, now they're busy. And just to have that moment with you, not running around all week, coming home early, leaving home early, coming home late, but you're working. We understand that. But the bottom line being, when he asked you to sit down, all he wanted to do is lay against you. Same thing. I tell you, I visualize it. God created everything in the earth in 6 days. And even he sat down on the seventh day and looked at what he did. He didn't do nothing but say, now this is good. You know? And then he thought about, man, this is good. But you know what the most amazing thing is? I love this scripture. You know, I think I've told you this before. Out of everything that God created, when he looked at woman, he said, now this is very good.
Oh.
Why did God call us very
Oh, you
good?
give me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Really?
Out of everything, look it up.
Oh, I'm gonna look
He
it up.
says
Yes.
that if you look at when
He said very good.
Very good.
Instead of good.
very good.
Oh.
If you look at everything he created everything just from a pop and a pop. But he took a rib from a man, and he took dirt. He took a rib, just some dirt. You know, if you think about
And
at
then
the
he
beach
blew-
yeah. But that's my name, very good. You know, my
Yeah.
license plate says God's favorite.
Yeah.
I'm very good.
Very good.
And I think let me just say something to women. Recognize, men, we love you, love you, love you, love you. And we make sure that you know that you're very good. But we need to recognize that we're very good. You know, we are the womb. If we don't carry the baby, if we don't, 9 months in water, And you know, your feet swell, Lord God. I mean, your feet swell, your face gets fat, your lips grow, everything happens. But that's the process to bring forth life. You're going to bring life here and then you're going to abandon it? No. Even when we don't hear from God, when we want to, He never abandons us. If He does nothing but kind of nudge us, or somebody says something and we feel Him, like you said, you just got the chills. That's life. But I do have something I wanted to say. I'm working on. I wanted to let you know I'm working on bringing, which is the president of the Raiders.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
waiting to hear back from them now,
What?
Sandra. Yes.
Yes, that would
I
be
can't wait to
awesome.
bring her on again, being because I'm going to be doing the sports part of it. To bring her on, talk about her position, how she got there, and not going to tell you guys even yet, but I'm going to tell her when she's here something that's going to blow her mind. How long I have heard about her. And the reason I'm bringing her up, she's half Filipino, she's half Black, being the first female president of the Raiders.
Oh my gosh.
And what she has accomplished, I'm getting chills, what she has accomplished in that
This is
pace.
a big deal.
Now, again, going back, to, so that we always kind of reflect back on our conversation. The beautiful part of that is that wasn't what she wanted to do initially.
Oh, don't give out too much.
Oh, no, I'm not. But I'm just saying that here is a position that's held by men. President, the first NFL team here in Las Vegas, and she's a Black and Filipino woman. And what she has accomplished in this time, like yesterday, USC was playing, and I mean, we're getting so much here in Vegas. It's the whole team that does it. But because she had the vision from a long time ago, there's a lot going to be said on there. But the bottom line being is, she waited. She did the works. She stopped. She waited. She waited for her answer. She put everything in place. But again, as she said, I had to wait. So the waiting is not a negative thing.
It's not.
To lay down and relax. Yesterday, you asked me, what did I do? Absolutely nothing. Matter of fact, I made a ponytail on the top of my head. I looked like alfalfa to somebody. And I left it there because I knew I wasn't going to go out looking like that. Yes. But the other thing of that is that talking about the name of the show, Good Side. The good side can be nurturing. What is the opposite of good? Bad. You know, what good are you going to feed? What good side are you going to feed? I mean, if you don't do it for your son, then he's going to look for the world to do it. And they'll do it until they get him, and then they misuse him. Again, that word misuse. God uses us, but He doesn't misuse us. That's got to be the main thing. And then for your husband to come in and say, okay, well, just sit still. Just sit still. All you want to do is shift some cans.
He gives me this look. Then sit. Right. Like this. Right. Like, okay.
So
and then I'm
still.
like, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, Ma, so, and I know I've mentioned this before, when I first started this show, I said, this is a total leap of faith. I have to tell you, because first of all, I waited a year. God gave me this vision a year ago. Well, more than a year ago, I guess. But I said, Lord, how do I do that? I don't have experience, and plus I was very shy, like on camera and whatever. And I'm like, I don't know how do I do that? Who do I talk to? Who's gonna be what is it about? And then and he still didn't give me an answer. He'll give me like one word like that. So I just keep writing it. And then all of a sudden, the beginning of this year, I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to leave it up to you, Lord. So every episode, and I'm saying this publicly to everybody that's listening, I have to tell you guys, I would try to prepare, and I would prepare with you, and I would write it down and say, this is going to be what I'm going to talk about when I get on air. But soon as we sit down and we put this on and we ask for God to join us, He takes over. And that's the one thing. I mean, I look forward to this day all the time, because it's just a great thing that that God is able to use us, for his goodness, for the good side. And now you're saying that we're gonna have a really good VIP guest. I feel like
excited.
slowly and slowly God is opening up like what this is gonna be about.
Yeah.
But I always knew it's about showcasing the goodness of people, because there's a lot of us here. There's so many people that have something good to offer to the community, to others, and even to themselves. And sometimes they don't really realize that they have that until somebody points it out.
Yeah.
And having conversations like this, I feel like I'm in goosebumps again.
Yeah.
That having conversations like this, I think this going to be good.
Well, you know what the good part of that, the good side,
Yeah.
you know what the good part of that is if you make a plan, as long as you make the plan, that shows that you at least had the discipline to put it down. And then after you pray over it, you give it to God. You let him do his thing. The other good side of that is, as women, we have the like you say, you were shy. Believe it or not, I'm really an introvert. But when I am on or in front of people or whatever, I'm an extrovert, because I know that there's something and someone that a word that I say is going to bless them. It's been like that all my life. And so even and my sister Jerusha is going to be on the show. God
Yes,
knows.
I know.
That's a big voice. Get
Yes,
ready, everybody.
yes.
She's in Africa right
She's in
now.
Africa, yes.
Ghana, Accra, Ghana. She's in Nigeria, Lagos. But when she comes back, I just got the picture. She was with Kings and Queens, for real.
Oh.
Like, yes.
You know what? She's been trying to send me a link on my phone, and I could not open it.
I'll send it to
I
you.
have to send.
Yeah, I have to
I
send
think
it
that's
to
what
you.
she's trying to do.
Yeah.
She's trying to send me the link.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
I'm
they
so
actually
proud of
did her
her.
interview and everything on
Yes.
her. But I'm saying all of that to say is that if we don't, there's certain ones of us like that have to be still. You got to find that still place. Because even when I sleep so good, I don't have a problem. Even everybody always says, "How do you go to sleep on the plane?"
Oh, I sleep on the plane all the time.
Oh, I don't even get in my seat good. Just like, I get in my seat, I pray, I every nook, every nut, bolt, everything going on. And then after that, it's like, I'm going to go up there and nothing I can do about it. I don't have wings. So I'm going to go to sleep and let you be you. And it reminds me of Jesus being in the boat. And all the waves
Oh,
coming,
gosh.
and the apostles
Yes.
are like, "Wake up, don't you feel the waves?" And he
Yes.
said, "Yeah, I feel the waves. I'm cool. What about you?" Well, okay. So then they go and go back down, and they're going to take a few minutes, and they're going to come back and bother him again. But when they come back, he's standing out there, and he's walking on the water. And they're like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" What did Peter say? "Can I come walk too?
Yeah.
I want to walk
Yeah,
too."
yeah.
And he's like, "Well, come on, you can do it." Well, that's the statement. And then he lost his faith in the middle of the water. And Jesus
Yeah.
had to reach down and grab him. But the whole thing being is, I want to walk on the water. Now I might dip a little bit, but I know he's going to pull me back, because your faith does have the tendency to kind of,
Yeah.
you'll deceive yourself. It's not the faith.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So the whole thing being is that we want to be able to be open, really open,
Yeah.
and
And
let
you
this
just
rest.
Yeah, and you just focus on, like you said, your faith. You'll get distracted
Just
and you'll
yield.
fall, right?
Yeah.
But then it's the way you pick yourself back up.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So for all you guys, the takeaway for today is that, like even for me, like the hustle culture, yes, it's
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
absolutely. Be productive. That's it's great. But you also have a balance, right? Have a balance, have a stillness, hug your kid longer,
If you don't, he will.
Yeah, he will, yeah. Or, take time to go see your parents, have a phone call, see an old friend.
Yeah.
But just make time to enjoy life, because tomorrow's never promised,
And it
right?
re-nurtures you. It
Re-nurtures
nurtures
you.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
we're nurturers.
Yes.
And to get it
Absolutely.
back when he laid on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two words I got this morning, just before we're gonna go, because we have to go, and we're at the end again. But so God said, refocus, recenter.
Yes.
So if there's anything you're lost, you don't know what to do, you're in a fork, you're in like you don't know if you're gonna go left or right. Recenter, refocus. If you stay in the will of God, you can't do. There's nothing. Nothing can go wrong. That's what He's promising. This is what God is promising. Not my promise, but it's God's promise.
Yeah.
If you remain, you recenter yourself, refocus yourself on the will of God, can't go wrong.
Exactly.
You'll do real good.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any last words, Ma? before I read my script, which one day I will memorize. I promise.
Only thing that I will close my portion of it is as you said, to stand still. The word says stand still and know, not guess, not maybe, and know that I am God. That's it.
Oh, and there's one scripture
What?
before we go. So He said, when doubts fill your mind,
Uh-huh.
and the phone rings.
Oh, it told us to get off.
Yeah, no, when doubt fills your mind, God said, my comfort, your presence will comfort and give you renewed peace.
Yes.
There you go. So when you have all these things in your head, just reach out to God and you'll feel at peace. So now we're at the end of our show.
Yes.
Sorry, we went a little over, but it has been a great experience sharing this podcast with you. We hope we have inspired you and made your day better. We will have a new episode, of course, every week.
Yes.
And look forward to these amazing people that we're going to have on the show. God is
Absolutely.
good. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Just type The Good Side Wins. Where's my clicker? And remember, an act of goodwill is always rewarded, and a good gesture is always appreciated. This is your host, Leizel, wishing that you have a great week ahead. God bless you all, and join us again soon on The Good Side.